Hey up folks, so you're back. Hey listen, that video last time were a little bit exciting, weren't it? With them Just Stop Oranges people. It was crazy, wasn't it? I thought so too. Listen, just to let you know, there were 5 people unsubscribed from that watching that video. So just between me and you, I think they wanted to stop oranges too. I think they'd infiltrated Liberty Junction. So it's a good job they've gone into it, because I'm not being funny. I like oranges. Do you? On the note of subscribers, if you're watching my stuff and you haven't subscribed, why not? It helps me out, doesn't it? And it motivates me, because when people don't subscribe, it don't motivate me, and when they do subscribe, it does motivate me. When they thumbs up my videos, it motivates me, and when they don't thumbs up my videos, it makes me want to do other things like table tennis. I just want to say as well, just in case anyone weren't 100% sure, that last video, it were only computer graphics from a video game, it weren't real stuff, so I didn't actually show anyone get blown up, apart from Martin, who were one of the protesters. He got blown up into 2 pieces, but he were plastic, and his mate, now in fact it was Martin that got bent wrong way around. His mate got blown up into 2 pieces, but we never found out what he was called, and I'm going to keep that a mystery, just for a bit more suspense. I've been busy, folks. I know it's been a while, but I've been absolutely busy. I've been busy with work. I've been busy at home. I've just gone down a right rabbit hole now. I started looking other week after I did them 3D print wagons, and I thought, oh, they look all right then. Then I modified it up a little bit to fit them Cavalex wheels for my next batch. And then I thought, fancy, I got these big TEA wagons that are at back here, these big tankers, and I thought, well, get some little tankers, because I've got a few old school little tanker wagons which have got their big D-link couplings on. I don't particularly like them big D-link couplings, so I try to avoid running them. They've got plastic wheels, some of them as well, so they don't run great, they're a little bit garbage. So what I started doing is trying to find a print, and I tell you what, you know, HO scale, Americans and anyone who does HO, there's absolutely boatloads of stuff in there. There's absolutely some superb ones. But double oogauge, there's only really, I can only really find half a dozen really. The guy that I bought them from, $4.99, I think that's a bargain. I did find another chap who was selling stuff, but he wanted £45 a file. Now to me, I know there's a lot of work goes into them, but £45 a file, that's quite premium, and I would like to see how they're printed and if all work's been done with supporting them and all that before I pay £45, because if it's just a basic image that you've then got to put supports on, it's hard work and it's a lot of money for if it's not going to work out right, because I've bought a few things that have not particularly printed well and I've never got round to getting them to print well. So what I did is I went on Tinkercad and I just started playing about. I got one of my old hornby wagons, my old TTA wagons, and I got some of them, you know, them like pliers things. They're not pliers, but they're like a bit like pliers, and they tell you what measurements are. I don't know what you call them. It's a fancy measuring gauge, it pinches onto surfaces and tells you how many millimetres they are. Anyway, if I can be bothered to get a picture of one, I'll put one up. But I got one of them, and I started designing my own, and I've been on it for 3 days straight now, so that's why I've been delayed with a video. Anyway, I promised you this Heljian 45, didn't I? So here we go. As you can see, there's still a bit of smoke coming from that cafe now. Police have turned up. They've cordoned it off now. They've took Gordon off of his Gordon, and they've put a cordon on. So that. It's not ideal. Owners turned up protesting with them because we don't really want them sniffing about. Wayne Atkinson financial advisory has been put in place now, just as a bit of a distraction, so that people don't look at that blown up building. And Gordon's just sat outside having a beer. I think Wayne's inside. I don't know if he's working today, but there's a woman on bench, Wayne, so really you should start seeing to people, because they'll just go away, won't they? And it's supposed to be a bit of a service, so let's do it good. So right, class 45, let's have a look at it then, let's get it moving. I've never personally bought any Heljian stuff, and I've heard mixed reviews on them. Sometimes they get shocking reviews, sometimes all right. That EFE Rail 58 I've got is a rebranded, and look at that, I've done you because you thought that we're about to move, and I've pulled a rabbit out of an hat. Lock Eli's turned up on the Accurascale. I mean, we didn't see it coming, did we? And I certainly didn't. But you've seen 45 anyway, as promised, that what first new loco on video, so I've fulfilled my contractual values there. So basically, this Lock Eli, it don't belong to me, it belongs to Proper Chuff, it belongs to Hilton at Proper Chuff Railways. Basically, he's used me as some kind of an escrow service. I think it's like an escrow service, you know, like where I take it and then I move it on. Like a bit like, I suppose I'm a bit like a dealer, but a train dealer now, so scary times in it. I'm going to have to start getting some gold teeth. So what I thought I'd do for Hilton is I'd run it around one of my videos to get a bit of a premiere and basically do a bit of a test run so that you can see that it's all right, just in case it arrives in 6 pieces when it gets to South Africa. Also, I've heard that post office people have started swapping these locos out for socks from Primark, so hopefully they don't do that, Hilton. But if they do, I promise I'll not show it on my videos ever again, and I'll just have to run it privately. So what's he going to do then? I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to run round to Liberty Yard and he's going to collect some interesting new items. And while he's going round, I'll just talk about what happened the other week. So I emailed Accurascale and asking him about my 66, because I basically said it's been over 10 weeks now, blah, blah, blah. Can I have a bit of an update, please? So they've got this new fancy artificial intelligence that picks up your emails now, which I don't think is the right way to go personally, but it sounded all sincere and concerned, saying, you know, we've got this, that and other, and appreciate it's been 10 weeks, don't worry, we'll look into it and we'll get back to you. Well, they haven't bothered getting back to me, and it's been about 2 weeks since then, so we're now coming up to 13 weeks that they've had my 66. And I thought, well, they're using all this modern age technology, and I ain't got any of that modern age technology at Liberty Junction, so I thought I'm going to come back with a little bit of a twist and try and get their attention, because I don't know how long you think it's acceptable to have a train in for repair, and I'm sure they've got boatloads, but what's the answer? What is the answer? That's what I'd like to know. And what is this? That's also what I'd like to know. Look at the state of this new wagon I've done. Everything on this, apart from wheels and couplings, is 3D printed. Buffers are 3D printed, and alt loads 3D printed. And I quite like it. It looks quite decent, doesn't it? Basically, what I did is I just decided I wanted to do some flat ones and just put some loads on them, and basically that's what I've done. Some buffers need a little bit of sanding, but I'm rushing around like a madman at the minute. It's crazy chaos at work. It's chaos out of work. So some of the stuff, it just needs a little bit of fine touching. But it's looking all right, isn't it? So you'll have to let us know what you think to that. I've done these. Look at this stack of rails here. I don't know if they look realistic or not. I made them a little bit shiny, then I rusted them up a bit, just to try and thingy, but the piece de resistance is just about to come up. You know Gordon, who were Gordoning that thing off? Well, I found out he's a stonemason. So I've got him to do this, is chip this stone out, and he's done me we've done a Stone Age reply. So they sent me a super intelligent, artificial intelligence reply to me. So here's my reply to them, done in stone. Accurascale, where's my 66? You've had it bloody ages. And I think you have had it bloody ages now, and I'd like it back at some point, because it's getting a little bit ridiculous. It must be 6 weeks ago that somebody told me that it were up in one workbench next week, is what they said. So that's 5 weeks they've had it on that workbench. So I don't know what you're doing with it on that workbench, but come on, let's start either being honest with people about timescales, or what we're going to do, because I ain't going to keep buying them if they're not going to be straight with me. So driver of Lockheed, and look at this. Look, he's not only done one, he's done several. He's done several new wagons and some fancy loads as well, with some big giant pipes. Basically, we found out that Percy had ordered some of these massive pipes, so we're just going to try and ship them off somewhere. But look at them, they've got some rusty damage, but they look all right, I think. I mean, what's your thoughts on these time frames with warranty work? Has anyone else had anything in? Can anyone give me an idea how long they've waited if they've had out done? Because I've had people say that they've cancelled them and had refunds and all stuff like that. And why did you get a refund and how long were you waiting before you had enough? Because I'm starting to get a little bit fed up now, especially when I've got pre-orders with them and more money being spent. And to be fair, I don't really know where I stand at the minute because I'm starting to get a little bit irritated with it. And I don't know if I'm being a bit grumpy, but I suppose I can be grumpy, can't I? Because at the end of the day, it's my hard-earned cash buying these locos. They're not being given to me, and I want them to work. And if they're not going to work, I want them to get repaired reasonably quickly, i.e. not half a year. Or I'll just buy other brands what will work, and they will be repaired if I send them back if they need it. I don't know. I'd just like to know what's going on. So basically, we're going to run this sign round all the video, and maybe it'll get someone's attention and they'll start getting their act together a bit. I mean, we don't want to talk about negotiators, but he's got a mate called the Persuader. I don't know what he does, but I'm assured that he doesn't use missiles. I think he just sticks to cannon. But I'm sure it'll get sorted. This shot were a nightmare because I had all points set wrong, and I thought I'll do a fancy one-take shot. And I tell you what, my arms came into this so much, about 1 million times, it was like watching a kung fu fight. So basically, I've edited that much of it out that it basically shows next to nothing. So you'll just have to appreciate a little bit it does show, and then pretend you've seen the rest. Because by the time I'd done with it, I must have been about 6 minutes in for this one clip, and I just thought I can't even be bothered reliving that part of my life. So I just thought I'm just going to crack on with video. So apologies for that. At least I've not took 12 weeks to do it. Hey, I tell you what I sometimes do, with commenters and audience. I play a little bit of game, what I like to call comment fishing. Basically, I don't tell you I'm playing comment fishing. I just play it and see if I can catch any fish. And basically, Jersey Bill were playing that game with me without his knowledge the other week. And he were talking about Airwolf, because I mentioned helicopter looked like Airwolf. And he started going on about Airwolf to me in comments. So I basically said, I loved Airwolf, I loved BA. I ain't kidding on no playing fool. Obviously, BA's 18, but I knew that. And I caught him. I caught you, Bill, didn't I? Yeah. I thought it was funny, so that's 1-0 on comment fishing. I'm going to keep playing it. If you catch me out for comment fishing, you get a point. So these wagons I've done now, I've printed the bases 1 millimetre wider than the other bases. So the new Cavalex wheels I've got now fit perfectly, and these run like a dream. I've reamed them all out and they run really nice. The one thing I would say about them, because they've not got it's just an M pocket that's attached to the chassis. They don't pivot or anything like that. So the only thing I would say is radius 2 curves, which that corner they're going round now is a radius 2. They really don't like it, and they were getting almost like buffer lock but with couplings. So apart from that one curve that they don't like, they're absolutely decent. What I might do, I might buy some of the magnetic pivoting couplings that you can get on eBay, but I'm just hoping they're better than other magnetic couplings I've purchased in past that are 3D printed from a certain place, which I didn't particularly like. I'm hoping they're a bit more robust, because they'd be perfect then. That's the only thing. Tight corners, they don't particularly like it. But they run like a dream with these wheels on, and as you can see, they look half decent, don't they, to be fair. I'm not sure exact costs of them, but not including free wheels and couplings that I had just in a bag. Even with paint, I'd say they're probably at most £2 each, which I think is well decent, to be fair. £2 each, but let's get real, boatloads of time. It's to print one of them wagons. You print the base, you print the top, you then wash it, you take all supports off, and then you paint it with primer, then you get top coat, weather it, blah 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 blah. So you're in with you've got some time in it. So it's not just £2, 5 seconds, it's £2, and most of that day took up, to be fair. Painting them's easy enough. I waited till I had about 5 or 6 in a row, and then I just blasted them all. As you'll see on this, I've got a new black one at back. It's not staying at back, it's just that I couldn't be bothered breaking rake up for this video, so I've put it in. After this filming completed, I put it halfway in. But yeah, I've got one of them. I might pick up one of them green ones if I can find one at reasonable money. Some people are wanting dream money, some people are wanting £90 for them, which I find quite laughable. But yeah, as you can see, it's doing snakeroo and it's doing it decently. It's absolute. These wagons are absolutely all right. They really are. And I'm convinced now that them other ones, if I print them 1mm wider with them other wheels, I mean, them Bachmann wheels are perfect, but these Cavalex wheels at 1mm wider, they're a little bit more free running, even more so. Like, I can push these now. I pushed them on Liberty Junction 2, and I can get at least 18 feet pushing them. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not ball bearings, so they're not like them PFA Accurascales, but they're more than enough. They're more than good enough. So I can't even remember how far I started talking about them tank wagons. Anyway, I've been designing my own tank wagon for the last 3 days. I've got the design. Every time I think I've got it done, I do a test print, and it's the ladder what looked on screen really good. It was like a human hair width when it came out on printer. So I've thickened it up best I can now, and it's on its last chance, and failing that, I'm going to take the ladder off, and I'm going to buy some little etch ladders and put them on. But I just wouldn't mind to be able to print it in a wanna, even though I'm not doing ladders as the same part, I'm doing them separate. So print it and not add any extras that I have to pay for, because then it's going to be a £2 wagon again. But they're looking really good, to be fair. I've got one in printer, it's due out in half an hour, so see how it prints. I tried putting some ladders on base, and again they weren't thick enough, so I've modified that, so we'll see. And I've also done, you know, that gas tank that I had, fart tank in, I've scaled that up and I've made that size of a TTA wagon, so I've done some of them. They're not even a real wagon, but I'm still going to run them on my industrial layout, because who knows that they're not coming out soon. They might be coming out next week, and you might not know and I might know. Anyway, what we're going to do now, because I think 37's run round enough, it's not really fair, driver, so you stop, mate, uncouple, and what we're going to do is we're going to let 45 have a go now, because I need to be true to my word and let it run round. But thanks very much for your efforts, I appreciate it, mate. It's decent, and I've got to say, Hilton, it's a decent little 37, that. Detailed front end looks superb, and driver's fitted absolutely amazing. It's like he's stood up having a little look out at window. I've heard, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've heard that in customs they take them drivers out, so that might have to end up in one of my 37s, but you'll never know, will you? You'll be all right. Right, he's going to drive off, he's going to park himself up on near platforms, and then 45's going to run round. 45's got no sound, and spoiler alert, it runs a bit like a madman. I don't know if it's been running yet, so yeah, this is going to be its little bit of a running in session. Liberty Junction 2 news. Right, we're going to call, down in my man cave, I'm going to call that Liberty Junction 1.5, because it's not 2, because 2's in shed. Shed doesn't exist, but 1.5 does exist. I've fully gone mind change on 1.5. I don't know how much I mentioned, because I can't remember, but I'm basically scrapping idea of doing a lovely, pretty train station. That's gone, and it is going to be industrial as can be. I've already got a bit of a cardboard mock-up down there of a big premise. Let's just call it a premise, because I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but it's going to be massive, and I'm going to have some locos inside it, and I'm going to be able to film inside it. I've been dabbling around with some 3D printers and pipe work, so I want to have pipes and chimneys galore. I've got some ideas, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm not changing layout at tracks. It's all glued up now, and I've drilled it and pre-drilled it and all that, and I just can't be bothered, so that's going to have to stay. I still think it's a good design, and I like it. It's just that it was designed for a platform to go in the middle of it, like a long 6 or 7 foot platform, so that's going to have something else now. But I'm sure I'll have some kind of distribution pipes or something that will fit there nicely. I'll make it fit regardless, because it's tough. I'm not changing it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to starting that. It's going to have to come soon. I'm going to have to knock this printing on head soon, because it takes a lot of time up, and I've had a lot of people inquiring about them. I'm sure when people see them flats, they're going to like them, because they're not bad, are they? Let's face it. you'll pay probably £30 for one of them in shops now, and when you're knocking them out at these kind of prices, and to be fair, it was quite effortless, that one. It really were quite effortless. I say effortless, it still took me a few hours, but it weren't a comparison on this TTA wagon I've done. That's been the right mission. So I've eyeballed up some more prints. I'm talking about knocking printing on Ed, and then I'm talking about some more prints, but it's going to be for industrial yard, and basically they're going to be, I'm hoping I can just set that print in, leave it, and just let a stock build up, and then just go all out maniac fitting it all onto the layout. I need to put back scene in, because that's a mistake I made with this one. I didn't put a back scene in, and if you try retrofitting back scenes, I'll tell you what, folks, it's biggest mission in the world. So I need to get a back scene, at least the boards in, so I ain't going to mess about, because it's back-breaking stuff when you're trying to stretch over stuff. And then I need to just solder on a bus cable, and then we're ready to go, and I'm going to start having a couple of locos on it just to keep mooching about and making a bit of a testing for electrics and stuff. And then I'm going to start cracking on at some point before the weather gets too hot, because let's face it, once it gets to summer, I'll tell you what, after winter I've had, when I work outside most of the time, I'm absolutely ready for just chilling out in summer. But I'll try and get some bits and bobs out to you, because I'm good like that. I like to look after you, but especially if you subscribe, do you know what I'm saying? I tell you what else I'm surprised at that you can't get. These coal hopper wagons. I can't believe people do box wagons. I'm assuming it's because the box wagons are quite straightforward to do, you know, being just rectangles. Whereas they'd be a bit more of a mission. I tell you what, I'm not getting involved with them. They're far too complicated. But if someone did a decent file, or even a semi-decent file, I'd buy one, because I wouldn't mind a couple more rakes of them. And at £75 for 3, you can't keep buying rakes 25, 30 of them, can you? Unless you want to be skint forever. And here we go, look, they're having a bit of a race, look. So what's my thoughts? I'll tell you my thoughts on this Heljian. I don't know if CVs need sorting out, because it runs a bit toy-like in my opinion. It's like all or nothing. So I think you could probably smooth that out a bit. As you probably saw when I set off, I've been waffling on, but as I first set it off, it didn't want to run at all. It won't reverse slow. It just stopped on bits where nothing stops. But running forward, then it was faultless. Just have a bit of a look at it up close now, and I would describe it from the buffers up. I think it looks nice, and I think from the buffers down, I mean, I don't really know what a 45 looks like, but them buffers just look absolute garbage to me. Is that how bad they are, not real ones? I mean, them springs look like my cat's done them, and he hasn't done wagons in absolutely years. But you see what I mean though, look. Surely real ones aren't as bad as that. I mean, them springs don't even look right, but I don't know. Who am I to say? I'm a nobody. But let's have a little butcher's round it, shall we? Also, I do think it will brand new, so it probably does need running in. Lights, I can only get them all to come on at once. I don't know if Wayne's fitted these, because this is another one at fostering service. This is not mine. I don't know if you fitted them, Wayne, all them extra detailing bits if they come like that, but it looks nice enough front. The fan, the only thing with the fan is you can see all gubbins inside, and I don't know why. I don't know why they've not put something to stop. I mean, look at that, them wires here. Unless it's a bomb. I wonder if it's from Just Stop Oranges people and they've put a bomb in. I'm going to have to get that checked out, actually. But yeah, roof details, it's decent enough. It's as good as anything else I've pretty much seen, Bachmann stuff and whatnot. Can't complain about that. It's just them buffers look a bit, that suspension system, it just looks a little bit garbage. Anyway, thought I'd show you these on a bit of a close-up. What I've done with these is I've added like these little tie-down hoops. You see them little tie-down hoops? And where that blue bag is there, you'll see that I missed one off at one point. So that one at early prototypes, and it's got a hoop missing, but I'll just pretend it's snapped off in its working life. But basically, that's them little hoops. They're absolutely tiny, but I could thread some string or stuff through them and tie my loads down and stuff. And I've done a few different variants. I've done some a bit rusty on bottom, some a bit cleaner, some a bit muckier. I've done some all green, some with a brown bed, some with black bed. I love them pallets, how they fit perfectly on it like that. And these massive pipes that Percy ordered. And yeah, I think they look all right. They look all right and they run all right. I'm well happy with them. I really am. I mean, I've not run them flat out full speed, but I've not had them derail once. Like I say, apart from that, that second radius point, they were spitting the sends all over going around that. I was saying that derail once and I'm fully lying because they did on that. But that even spits Accurascale 37s off that. There's only a couple of my wagon locos will run properly over that. Well, that one's got oval buffers at one side and round at other because I ran out and I couldn't be bothered, so I thought it'd be a bit comical to have odd buffers. So he's called Odd Buffers. He fancies that Montana, that one with big buffers. He fancies her, so maybe they'll get together. Oh, blooming heck, Hilton! Look at state of your it's going wrong, mate. Your loco, it's not safe, mate. I'm gonna have to throw it away, I think, mate. I'm getting full of smoke. I'm gonna have to throw it away, mate. Sorry, mate. I'll send you a Heljian instead, pal. See you later.